Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. We are still looking for Stella, and I think that we're going to go to all three of these places before we get to a Sybil. So let's start with Oscar. We should check in on Oscar. He's smart, maybe he'll know what to do. I hope nothing else happened after we all went home last night. They're so brave for sleeping in that house after everything we went through. I'd rather sleep in the woods with the ditchlings than someplace that was that haunted. Alright, and we got an achievement for visiting Oscar in the library, because last time I visited him while he was living at the old Maxwell house, because I left the library haunted, and he and Rosalina could not sleep there anymore. Morning light streams in through the library's large windows. In the bright daylight, it's once again a place of comfort, all menace having fled in the wake of Charles Shaw Jr.'s departure. No ghosts, thank God. I was not up for an encore. You can't help but overhear the murmurings of an intense conversation coming from the mayor's office. Or rather, the murmurings of an intense animal conversation. Investigate, yes. You start making your way upstairs towards the mayor's office. Hey, where are you going? Ah! There's so many of them! A small gang of dogs hold court in the mayor's office. Most of the dogs quietly watch from the sidelines, but two of them, a sheepdog and a basset hound, are in a heated conversation with Mayor Jimmy. Their tags read Scraps and Daisy. Pixel sits on a shelf nearby, wearily keeping an ear to the conversation. It sounds like you've all sorted this out. I don't see what you need me to do about any of it. Sorted? Things ain't sorted until this town is safe. Now, we may have got the beginnings of a militia together, but there's plenty of pets out there who are still ill-informed about those things crawling out of the woods. Okay, so I think what's going on here is this is replacing a scene that I saw in my last playthrough when the Gutierrezes and Pixel were kicked out of the library. So Oscar and Rosalina went to find a house, but they left Pixel behind in their haste, and he was out roaming the streets. He was getting accosted by ditchlings, like he was cornered by one, and a bunch of dogs, I think these dogs, all came and tore the ditchling apart and saved his life, and we were able to bring Pixel over to the Gutierrez's new home. So when they say about forming a militia, I think they're talking about a band of roving dogs that is fighting the ditchlings, which is a really interesting thing because, like, the humans have moved on to, like, bigger and grander spooks, but the ditchlings are still the biggest threat to the animals of the town. I just think this is a really interesting detail. You're the mayor. They'll listen to you. Just tell them to stay inside until it's handled. Listen, Scraps. Buddy, I hear you, but the last thing we need right now is anarchy in the streets. It's no use. I told you he'd be bullheaded. He's always bullheaded. Always the sore loser, aren't we, Daisy? Things are fine. Nobody has to worry about a thing. The mayor pulls himself away from the conversation to acknowledge you. Oh ho ho, I remember you. You're that out-of-towner from yesterday. The speaker. The other dogs murmur amongst themselves for a moment, then turn to face you. I'm sorry you had to see this little display. Politics can get so messy. I love how he's, like, chilling on a dog bed with his toy, but he's discussing politics. It's so funny. Are y'all some kind of dog militia? Did I hear that right? Yeah, I suppose you can say that. When the town's illustrious leader abandons his kind, it's up to us common folk to band together. Daisy, please, I'm not abandoning anybody, dog or otherwise. You're all blowing this invasion story completely out of proportion. Everything is going to turn out just fine. If everything turns out just fine, it's because the rest of us protected those who need protecting. Have any of you seen or smelled Gretchen? She and her person are missing. Is she missing? Oh dear, Scraps, you don't think. Gretchen's person would never let that happen to her. Wherever she is, I'm sure she's safe from those things. A dog like her doesn't get to be that age without a watchful human at her side. Even if she's safe, I don't like the sound of this. See, Jimmy? This is the cost of inaction. Gretchen is a pillar of our community, and she's missing. What will it take for you to finally open your eyes and do something? If you wait until you're the last dog left in Scarlet Hollow, it'll be far too late to save yourself. Yes, I get it. You're all very upset. What do you expect me to do about it? Shut down the town? What about economy? Do we even know what economy is, Jimmy? Or are you just throwing around fancy words you've heard the humans say? Of course I know what economy is. I know all about economyism. Oh, good, because I've never understood a lick of it when humans talk about economy. I just figured it was a made-up word they yell at each other when they want to stop talking, so please, enlighten us. I'm not going to debase myself by playing a game of trivia, not in front of the speaker. I thought so. To answer your question, we did catch a whiff right around here, and another near her house. Haven't picked up anything around town since then. Let's hope those creatures haven't already gotten to her. Can you help us find her? You've got better noses for this sort of thing. We'll do our best. We didn't intend to make any more trips out into the woods, but if it's for Gretchen, we'll take that risk. She's a well-liked dog in these parts. Been around longer than any of us. It'd be a blow to the community for her to fall victim to those monstrosities. Gretchen really admires you, Scraps. Oh, she flatters me so. I'm nothing special, just another dog. All the more reason to go after her before it's too late. Don't be so modest, Scraps. You're the kind of dog other dogs listen to. It's a damn shame the humans are so charmed by that charlatan. I'm right here, Daisy. I'm well aware. You think you're so high and mighty, don't you? Just because you can sit and stay the best, as if obedience is the best quality in a leader. I should say, Mr. Mayor, you should listen to Daisy and Scraps on this one. There won't be anarchy in the streets to worry about if every animal in town is taken by ditchlings. Your opinion is noted, but I have been mayor for over 14 years. I know what I'm doing. That's 14 dog years, Jimmy. If you're not going to help, the least you can do is not blow smoke up the speaker's ass. I suppose you were right, Daisy. This was just a waste of time. But I needed to hear it with my own ears before I could really believe it. I'll save the I told you so for later. Let's go rally the others. The town won't save itself. You and the dogs exit the mayor's office and close the door behind you. They quickly turn a corner and vanish from your line of sight. Once again, absolutely delightful. You find Kanika waiting for you in the lobby. You just had a full-on conversation with those dogs. It is so weird when you do that. Kanika sighs, muttering to herself. Knowing dogs are capable of carrying on an actual conversation is going to make being a veterinarian really weird. I guess Oscar must be in the back. I know that's where I'd be if I finally managed to unhaunt my house. Let's go. You make your way back towards the annex. It feels strange to be back here in the light of day, as if the events of the previous evening were all just a terrible dream. This hallway creeps me out. Kanika knocks on the door. Oh, good morning. It's good to see all of you. Please, come on in. You have no idea how good it felt to sleep in our own house last night. Though I suppose I didn't do much sleeping. I mostly sat and stared at the hatch all night. Nothing happened, but the idea that something could happen was more than enough to keep me wide awake. So, what brings you here? Stella's been missing since last night, and we're trying to figure out if anyone's seen her. She hasn't gotten in touch with any of you? Nope, we have no clue where she's gone. That's not good. I haven't seen her since she ran off last night. I feel terrible. I should have done a better job warning her. Stella was practically banging down your door trying to get evidence of ghosts. I don't think you were going to be able to stop her. There was no way you could have known how she would react when she found out. Now I'm really starting to worry. It sounds like no one in town has seen her. Sorry that I can't be more helpful, especially after everything y'all have done for us. I know time is of the essence right now, but while you're here, I wanted to let you know that I'm determined to do whatever I can to help investigate what's happening to our town. I was hoping we could compare notes. It might help me narrow down where I should start my research. As far as I'm aware, there was nothing paranormal in Scarlet Hollow before very recently. Now here we are, suddenly surrounded by weird little goblin creatures in the woods and plagued by angry ghosts. You think there was an inciting event, right? I do. That's my thought too. It was never like this in the holler before. Something must have happened that kicked off all this magic stuff. If there's a root cause for all of this, hopefully there's a way to put the genie back in its bottle. I'm going to do my best to find out if there have ever been any similar events, and whether there's anything special about Scarlet Hollow that might explain what's going on. We'll fill you in on what little we know, so you at least have some place to start. We've been finding these weird stone seals. There was one in the mines and another in your basement. There might be more. These are those carvings you mentioned last night, right? To think there was something like that under my house all this time, and to think someone must have put it there, but who? This gives me quite a few threads to follow. Thank you, Diana. Diana, didn't you say you felt something similar to the mine seal outside the clinic yesterday? I hope that doesn't mean something weird is about to happen there, too. You know, I was thinking about filling that basement with cement and pretending it was never part of the house, but if we're all here, maybe we should go down and, Oscar sighs, take a closer look at that carving, seal, whatever it is. It's been bad enough going into haunted houses and abandoned coal mines at night, but there's something that feels so much worse about going down there in the middle of the day. I can't say I'm thrilled at the thought of it either, but we need to do whatever we can to start getting ahead of things. I really don't think this is a good idea. Never open that hatch again. No, we need to get the corpse out of there. Going down there is worth the risk. We've been seeing ditchlings in broad daylight. I don't think we have the luxury of turning down clues. I couldn't agree more. After everything you've done to keep my family safe the past few days, I'm not going to risk losing our home because I was too scared of an old stone carving. Oscar, I feel like this is a bad idea. You don't have to go down there with us. You can wait upstairs. Oscar leads you back down to the familiar hallway to Rosalina's room. Oh, hi everyone. What are you doing in my room? I'm going back into the basement, Rosa. I'm afraid there's something down there that might help us figure out what's going on in town. It's probably best you go to the library while we... No way, if you're going down there, I'm going too. Remember what you said last night? No more secrets, we're in this together. You're right, Rosa. You can come with us. No more secrets. Am I the only person in this town who doesn't have a death wish? Just give me a moment to move all this out of the way. Oscar gets to work moving the furniture from the trapdoor, his broad shoulders making quick work of it. Before you and your companions know it, you find yourself transfixed to the trapdoor. Oscar opens the hatch with a menacing creak. Everybody's heart skips a beat. But none of you are swept up into a ghost nightmare puppet show. The sun continues to shine, the birds continue to sing outside Rosalina's window. See, nothing to be worried about. The slight tremor in his voice tells you he's mostly saying that to himself. Shall we? Yeah, I take it back. I'm good staying up here while y'all take a look down there. I do not like the vibes I'm getting from that pit. Descend. And the achievement, I knew this, it's called the excavation of Oscar's basement, which I'm sure is a reference to the excavation of Hobbs' Barrow, a game that I played on this channel. That's an exciting reference. You descend the basement stairs and find yourself in the same cold, unfinished place you were in last night. You can't shake an oppressive feeling, but whether that feeling is driven more by the trauma of the past night or by something more tangible, you're unsure. Well, I guess whatever we're looking for is in that pit. I guess we should take a look. Oscar walks up to the burial site, eyes widening as he peers inside. The eternally screaming remains of Charles Shaw Jr. are exactly where you left them last night, staring back up at you from empty sockets. The carving lies beneath him, the heavy, cold stone acting as his coffin. 3 dogs run an endless loop around a furious goat, all bound in a ring of flame. The style seems almost Greek, or maybe Greco-Roman, the weathered carving reminding you of something you might see in a temple. Charlie. He looks so small. Don't touch it. We'll have to call Dr. Kelly about this. We should put his body to rest, right? That's how these things usually go. About that, I don't think Dr. Kelly's going to be taking a lot of calls for very much longer. So, get on that quick, Oscar. He hasn't popped up out of the grave or decided to make any of us into puppets, so maybe he's really gone for good. I think so. That's going to make it a lot easier to sleep tonight. Does that mean you'll let me sleep in my actual bed? Whoa, well, let's give it one more night. I still don't know how I feel about you sleeping on top of that rock. What do we think? Wolves encircling a goat. It's a start. What was on the carving in the mines? A circle of arms bound up in chains. Stella took a photo of it. Not that that's helpful right now, but once we find her, she can send it to you. Interesting. I'm sure that description will be more than enough to get started. Can I help? I want something to do. I'm tired of just waiting around. Sure, you can help. Well, I've seen enough. Time to go. Yes, let's go back upstairs. Now that we know it's safe down here, I'll come back on my own time to do a more thorough examination. You and the others make your way back up to Rosalina's room. As soon as you're all in one place, Oscar closes the trapdoor and moves the pile of furniture back in place. So, did y'all get possessed or cursed or anything? No, but we got to see a dead body. Do you want to see a picture of it? I'm okay, Rosalina. I'll be back to check in on you in a minute. I've just got a couple of things to finish up with these folks. You and Kanika follow Oscar back to the living room. So, I have more than enough to get started on my research now, but is there anything else I should know about? Make sure Pixel stays inside or he might get grabbed by ditchlings. The ditchlings are those things from the woods, right? With those faces? They snatch animals to do some kind of parasitic egg-laying thing, so unless you want one of those things to pop out of Pixel, you better keep him where he's safe. Will do. I can't imagine how devastated Rosalina would be if something were to happen to him, especially after everything she's been through. I think there's something in the clinic. There was a store yesterday, and I could feel something pulling me towards it. Right, I'd almost forgotten after everything that happened yesterday. You said there was something there that reminded you of the mines, right? I'll see. I'll dig up what I can on the clinic. There's a lot of history there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something haunting that place as well. Yeah, there is. Oh, come on, OneDrive. I don't need that right now. Oh God, you don't think that's why Reese is sick, do you? He's been sick for years, hasn't he? If there's something supernatural causing his illness, it puts a bit of a wrench in our recency theory. It does, but maybe there's more to it than that. Maybe things being clustered so tightly together is just a coincidence. Maybe Scarlet Hollow's been weird for a long time, and we're all just starting to notice. It took me back-to-back encounters with the paranormal on consecutive nights to even consider that we might be dealing with something supernatural. I'm sure Reese will be fine. No. We need to get Reese out of there before something bad happens to him. That sounds terrifying, but maybe necessary. No, I veto this. We don't want a repeat of last night. We should be more cautious about what we do next. We don't want to get anyone attacked or possessed by any more ghosts, even if it is to help a friend. If there's something there, it might not be capable of possessing us. No one got possessed in the mines. No, but that doesn't make the clinic any less dangerous. I don't know if we have time to play it safe. Just give me a day or two to do some research before you do anything rash, okay? Sure, Oscar. I'll wait. Alright, I don't know if I want to... I think Sybil knows more than she's letting on. She wants me to come talk to her today. I know we've been over this, but I still think you're barking up the wrong tree. Why would my mom hide anything from us? Still, she did seem really calm and confident last night. Weirdly so. I hate this. She did seem strange last night. She kept shutting down the conversation like she was rushing us all along, trying not to let us linger on the supernatural long enough to reach any conclusions. Still, I'm inclined to agree with Kanika here. If she does know something, why would she be hiding it? I'd be interested to know what exactly she intends to tell you that couldn't be discussed in front of the rest of us. Alright, let's not bother with the cult stuff. We know that's just a silly thing. Alright. It sounds like you've got something to work on now. We should get back to looking for Stella. I do. Thanks for the leads, Diana. Let us know what you find. I will. So that's Oscar. Any other ideas? The diner. Good idea. Folks tend to congregate there. Maybe we'll run into someone who's seen Stella. The diner is busier than you've ever seen it. Small booths packed with miners. Hey, hope you weren't planning on spending any quality time in the diner today. Looks like we'll be hosting a meeting for the foreseeable future. What's going on? There's a strike up at the mines. They've made the diner their base of operations. I forgot Avery's voice for a second. I gave them a southern accent. Huh, good for them. It's about time something like this happened. This is great for business, says Winnie. That's Winnie. These fellows can have as much free coffee as they can drink if they keep piling in like this. The miners didn't even notice you enter the diner, and instead of speaking in hushed voices, argue with each other loudly enough for you to easily overhear. I guess the shift schedules are pretty brutal. I'd like more vacation days. I'd love to be able to see my family around the holidays, and better health benefits would be amazing. But what if she decides to fire all of us? You're only a year or so into the work, and trust me, the longer it goes on, the more it sucks the life out of you. We would have met all of these characters already if we had gone and talked to the miners and asked them about Wayne in episode 2. But we didn't. Because we were trying to get in with their boss. At first, you're just unhappy, but you figure you can weather it till you find something better. A paycheck's a paycheck. Next thing you know, you've lost years of your life to a company that doesn't give a solitary shit about you, that uses up every free second it can suck out of its workers and pays us just enough to survive, but not so much that we can never save enough to get the hell out. But we could get fired from this. I really need the paycheck. I can't get fired. And the company housing, that makes a big difference for me. Right, the company housing. How generous of Tabitha to put you up in a company-owned shack that ain't had maintenance done in decades, taking a big chunk right out of your paycheck that sure as shit ain't going towards property tax and upkeep alone. The company housing means that almost nobody in this whole damn town owns the place they live. We have numbers on our side, Harrison. After what happened up there the other night, damn near everyone is joining the picket line. She can't afford to lose us all. We have the power here, so long as we're united. Have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The miners turn towards the doorway, all eyes glaring at you in Union. The YouTuber? No, we ain't seen her. As you can see, we've got a lot going on today. We'd appreciate it if you didn't butt in. Harrison's voice drops to a barely audible mumble. I hope she's okay. She hasn't been around, but I'll let you know if I hear anything. Weigh in on Harrison's situation. Don't let him pressure you, Harrison. Diana is going to continue to suck. Save from the family business. Stop someone from joining the strike. I don't think I'm going to spend any time with Tabitha today. Mostly because I don't want her to come down to the clinic and do what I have seen her do in cutscene graphics that I have seen around the internet. So I still want to get some tabby points without talking to her. Diana! Oh great, the boss even has her cousin going around strike breaking. Get out of here before we drive you out. You're not welcome here. I don't care if y'all stand for a good cause. I don't even care how much bacon and eggs you've bought. If you start a fight in my establishment, you're out. Let's handle this like civil adults. You heard, lady. Don't get involved or we'll have to take this outside. I just want the record to show that just because I am currently standing next to Tabitha's cousin does not mean I am friends with Tabitha's cousin. I barely know this person. I guess we should get going. Sorry, Avery. I'll talk with you more next time. You turn and leave the diner, Kanika trailing close behind you. Still no sign of Stella. Alright. Because there is no one at the mine to talk to besides Tabitha, and I am too scared to talk to Tabitha, I am just gonna get tea with Sybil. I'm supposed to get tea with your mom today. Maybe she'll have some ideas. Sure, we can humor her. She's probably going to give you some rocks or bundles of herbs for protection or something, which might actually work, who knows. Guess there's only one way to find out. The bells of the general store chime welcomingly as the two of you enter. Again, just for the record, I would not say that to a person on strike in real life. I'm role-playing a character here, and she sucks. So I said something that sucks. Union strong. Support your workers. Pay your workers. Alright. Kanika, there you are. You were supposed to stay in bed today, remember? And hello, Diana. Hope you've sufficiently recovered from last night's fiasco. Sorry, Mom, it's just that Stella's missing, and Stella can take care of herself, unlike you. You need bed rest and lots of fluids. You don't need to go running around town spreading that cold of yours. Go on, get up to bed. I'll be up in a minute with more tea. I thought you had some kind of important thing to talk to Diana about. I'm really feeling okay. I want to hear what you wanted to say to her. I'll just be doing a tea reading. Haven't those always bored you to tears? Okay, you're right. I'm not feeling well. I should really lie down. Bye, Diana. Bye, girl who hates me now. Kanika turns and heads towards the stairs without saying another word. I think it's at this point that we can actually romance her. And I did romance her and lock in that route in my first playthrough. But that's not happening now, shall we? Sybil motions towards the tea room. No way am I spending any time alone with you. I don't trust you. I can just not do this. We'll talk to her. I feel like Diana doesn't have reason not to trust her. Next playthrough, I'll skip it probably. Please have a seat. I'll bring you a fresh cup. You take a seat at the small table at the edge of the room. It's dark here, only a sliver of sunlight able to filter through the heavy curtains, supplemented by the bright grow lights over the plant in the corner. It's castor bean, an incredibly toxic plant, and strange for a tea maker to keep around in her workspace. Oh, I know what that's for. Sybil joins you at the table and places a cup in front of you. It smells light and citrusy, with an undercurrent of decaying earth. I'll be able to do a reading once you're done. Until then, how about we just chat? Some of the plants in here are toxic. They seem like odd things to keep in a tea room. Castor bean and the oleander in the corner behind me, they can produce ricin and rat poison, respectively. It just seems like strange plants for a person who makes presumably edible teas to have them lying around in the open. Aren't you, Sharp? I'm an appreciator of plants regardless of whether they can be used in tea. Oleander's blooms are beautiful, and castor bean has such massive leaves, you have to admit it makes for an impressive plant. And they're both perfectly harmless so long as no one goes munching them. I keep these separate from the garden out back for just that reason, so no one confuses them for something edible. The other day you promised to tell me, what was it, unsavory tales of my mom's youth? I most certainly did, though I might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what age the age difference might be. That's a little bit of a derpy sprite, I don't like it. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Pearl was a lot like your great-grandmother Edwardine, which is to say, she was not a very kind woman. Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man. But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Why were Pearl and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young, too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive the labor. I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? Did they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, and to be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. Might have been Stuart, or something just as forgettable. From what Vivian said, her father was some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it, what with skipping town and all. What happened when my mom found out she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother, maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced she was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious, as far as I knew. But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It's always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby. What do you know about my grandma? Probably know than Tabitha knew, I'm assuming. I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardine neither spoke about them, nor did your mother. What's with all this mystery and ritual? If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it. I'll need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help to give me a full picture. Sip the tea or drink the tea. We can at least say I'm not gonna drink this. I know I drank it last time, and I kind of feel like she might poison me or something, because she has the poison in her place, and I kind of feel like she might be poisoning Kanika to make her sick, based on other things I know about the parents in this game, but I'm gonna say I'm not gonna drink this. Then I'm afraid I can't be of much help. Tea readings are my specialty. If I don't have your leaves, I can't do a reading. She's looking at me with those puppy dog eyes. I might as well get the reading. Next time I'll be rude. You take a sip, the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. But the aftertaste combines two flavors into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. The tea is gone before you know it, the small cup empty, save for what's left of rehydrated leaves coating the bottom. Oh, good. Glad you find the tea palatable enough to drink. It should do you some good. It's one of my more medicinal blends. Now, on to business. Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. You've got just about every warning that can fit in a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, difficulty, and the hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something is coming, and whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure. But we may at the very least be able to figure out what it is. And there's a central figure here, a cat, an enemy lurking in plain sight. The cat could be Dustin. He's a possum who lives in my dresser, and I try to talk to him every day to hear his wisdom and help with his troubles. It would break my heart if he was the traitor. The cat could be... I don't know if it could be any of these people. It could be Pastor Daniel? No, I don't think so. The cat could be... Who could it be? I don't want to accuse her daughter or Oscar. I want to see what some of these are. It could be Stella. Which of these should I say? I kind of want to see what all of the options for all of the people are. The way she's been actively courting danger the past few days, it wouldn't surprise me if she has an ulterior motive. Stella's never had the best coping mechanisms, especially not after she lost her parents. What you see as malice could be her struggling with inner demons. She's just a hurt soul who's been dealt a difficult hand. But you should trust your own judgment here. Friend or family, the cat will make itself known soon enough. I did get the tea reading before. I forgot about the cat warning. I think that the first time I was like, how do I know it's not you? Because Sybil is very suspicious. You don't have to figure out an answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. We know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way, and it's likely that it's connecting to some hidden enemy. Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. Judging by what you told me last night, those stones, carving, seals, whatever you want to call them, I think it's likely they have something to do with this. Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek these carvings out. Piece together what you can from your visions and arm yourself with information. Have you sensed any others around town? Do you think you might be able to find another? Your thoughts drift to that door from yesterday. The one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the clinic. Even just remembering it is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can even find her there. What's important right now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. I'm not going to tell her, though. I know it's probably not a comfortable proposition, considering what's happened around them the past couple nights, but anything that happens around those stones may be worth it if it means you're able to get ahead of your adversary and whatever threatens this town. I think that's all the help I can offer. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions than giving any clear answers. Why don't you come with me? No, I don't want her with me. I'll just leave. You get up to leave the tea room. Thank you again for humoring an old lady and stopping by for a chat. With a small grunt of effort, Sybil gets up from the table, and you're escorted back to the door. And remember, be careful who you put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough. Sybil closes the door to the tea room, the bells of its door strangely flat in the stale air of the nearly empty general store. Alright. Kanika doesn't like me, Miles doesn't like me, so I'm just gonna go straight to the clinic. It's time you got to the bottom of what was behind that door. You make your way up the familiar hill, past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Hi, Wayne. What you doing here? Hi, ditchlings. Hi, raccoon. Why is there a raccoon here? Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet has been fixed to your ribcage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you towards whatever emits this compulsive frequency. Ask the woodland creature how they get into the house. You quickly glance around, eyes trained on the underbrush. A flash of a striped tail grabs your eye immediately. Can I help you, Buster? Hey there, if you were trying to break into that house at the top of the hill, how would you do it? What, just because I got little hands to go through people's trash, I'm supposed to know how to break into places? There's a hill that'll take you right up to that big flat roof thing. Sometimes the humans leave windows up there, and I go and open up there and I go inside. Don't tell them, okay? I like to sleep in their big piles of cloth. It's one of my few joys in life. He leaves as you turn back to look at the clinic. You have your way in. I vaguely remember that Reese was not there. Let's knock on his windows, though. You cautiously approach the house, kneeling next to the low basement windows of Reese's room. You knock. There's no one in there. Reese must be somewhere else. Alright. You're pretty sure you can make the jump to the second floor, at least with a running start. You make your way up the hill and bend your knees in anticipation, and then you jump. You land and try the door. It's unlocked. The upstairs of the clinic feels like a decommissioned museum. Old furniture is covered in plain white sheets, and a thick layer of dust close to the floor. This place hasn't seen any use in years. You're in the clinic, free to explore as you please. Or rather, you're free to explore as you please. You can feel that odd sensation again, the nagging pull of whatever it was that wanted you to find it. You've been caught by its gravity, an overwhelming curiosity guiding you around a corner and towards a dark doorway under the stairs. It's been left ajar, as if inviting you to enter. The lights click on. You're in the morgue. Diana? What are you doing in the morgue? Vampire! Oh my god, she died and she Frankensteined you back to life. No, we're gonna flirt. Hi! Hey. Sorry, this must look kind of weird. I promise I'm not secretly dead already or something. Sometimes I just come down here to practice, rehearse. If you are a living corpse, that wouldn't be a deal breaker. I swear to God it would not. That's good to know. I'm still not. But I'm glad I haven't managed to scare you off. It's not often I get to meet new people. Especially new people I would like to get to know better. His words seem distant to you. The tugging is strong down here. You can almost feel yourself slipping into a trance, and your eyes wander to the back wall of the morgue. You need to see what's back there. You touch the wall. It feels disappointingly solid under your palms. Hey, are you okay? You feel Reese's hand gently shake your shoulder, and for a moment, the thing on the other side of the blank wall loosens its pull on you. You kind of looked possessed for a second there. You good? Make him understand. Why wall? Need say thing, but wall stand in way? There's some kind of magic shit going on, man, but it's telling me I need to get behind that wall. Reese glances back at the wall. You're really serious, aren't you? This is probably a bad idea, but if you really need to get in there, I'm pretty sure there's an emergency axe somewhere upstairs. I just need to get the doc out of her hair. Should take 2 seconds. Get the doc out of her hair? Yeah, if I say I'm sick and need something, she'll drop whatever she's doing and do it for me. Surefire way to get her out of the house. And most of the time it's true anyway. Use what you need to get what you need. No shame in that. Exactly. Yes, please. Axe now. Wow, you are super desperate about this wall. Be right back. He strides past you, his long legs moving swiftly. He seems excited, his usual dour demeanor replaced with an uncharacteristic pep when faced with the prospect of sneaking around and tearing down walls. You hear his soft voice filtering in through the open doorway at the top of the stairs, a hoarse and sickly edge added for effect as he speaks with his mother. Hey, Mom. He coughs gently. Reese, I didn't know you were awake. I still feel like shit, but I think I can finally try to keep some juice down. It looks like we're all out, though. Really? I thought I'd just pick some up. I've got an errand to run on Main Street anyway. I'll go pick up some orange juice, and some ginger ale, too. That would be awesome. Sorry to ask, I know you're probably busy. It's no problem, it doesn't take long. Don't do anything too strenuous while I'm gone. Just lie in bed until I get back. Thanks, Mom. I'll take it easy. You hear her footsteps move down the hall, then the front door opening and closing. It worked! The theatric rasp has left his voice, excitement rising in its place. Come on up, we don't have long until she's back. As you step out of the morgue, you relax. The extra space between you and the carving has weakened its hold on you, and with it, your desperation to claw your way through the wall and unveil it. It's one of those emergency fire axes, so it should be pretty obvious where it is, though I'm not sure where she would be it should be obvious wherever it is, though I'm not sure where she would be keeping it. I'll show you around. Let's try the doc's office first. You make your way to the doorway of her now vacant office. Oh, snake plant. I don't see an axe in here. He's right. A cursory glance reveals nothing but stacks of paper and cabinets of medical supplies. But something on the desk catches your eye, some sort of records, with your family's name on them. You're a fast reader. It shouldn't take you long to skim these. Reese stops in the doorway, turning to watch you leaf through the documents. Find something interesting? They're your family's death certificates. Perlan, cause of death, sleep apnea. Discovered by her daughter, Tabitha Chrysanthemum Scarlet. No autopsy performed. Tabitha's middle name is Chrysanthemum? Wonder who cursed her with that mouthful. Her mother, obviously, dude. I definitely feel like I'm going to make fun of her for that later. No, I think it's pretty. And Edwardine. Died 2003, age 89. Cause of death, heart failure. Signed by her granddaughter, Perlan Scarlet. Pretty normal. Almost made it to 90. Died of normal old person illness. Enoch. Died 57, age 69. Cause of death, fall from cliff. This one has a coroner's report attached. Organ sustained impact injuries. Lacerations to the neck and body consistent with fall from great height. Whoa, an actual autopsy report. Looks ancient. You quickly flip through a few of the other Scarlets whose names aren't quite as familiar. Theodore Scarlet, age 28. Cause of death, crushed in mine collapse. Body not recovered, signed by his brother Enoch Scarlet. That's right, you had a great uncle who died in the collapse. Joseph Scarlet. Louis Scarlet. Both killed in Normandy in the line of duty. These must have been Edwardine's brothers. Certificate of fetal death. Infant boy Andrew Charles Scarlet. Stillbirth. Mother Edwardine Scarlet. No doctor present home burial. That settles the question of whether you're related to Charlie. Alexandra Scarlet. Died at age 9. Missing, presumed dead. Signed by mother Edwardine Scarlet. Alexandra, the owner of the doll, so she went missing. And it was the same day Enoch died in a hiking accident. Mary Bell Scarlet, died age 17. Cause of death, complications during childbirth. Signed by her mother, Edwardine Scarlet, your grandmother. Wow, that's a lot of kids to outlive. Turn around and leave the office. It's time to move on. The medical supply room is probably a good bet. A fire axe seems like something that might be useful in a room full of chemicals. It's just down the hall. There it is. Looks like it needs a key, though. We'd better not break the glass. I'd rather explain why I had to steal the axe after we've had a chance to use it. There must be a key in here somewhere. He stops as if listening to something you can't hear. Shit, she's back already. As if on cue, you hear the front door to the clinic open and close, the creak of its antique hinges echoing down the hallway. Footsteps start down the hall. She's headed this way. Quick, we gotta hide. I'm not supposed to be in here. He opens the closet door and hurriedly motions you inside. You slip past him, scrunching into the small space as best you can. He attempts to slide in after you. Let him in. You make space, and he slips in next to you, closing the door just enough so that you can both still monitor the entrance to the supply room. Dr. Kelly storms in, plastic bag in tow. She takes something out of the bag and places it on the counter. And then she hurries back out, bag wrestling as she makes her way down the hallway. We better wait a second, just in case. You're momentarily distracted by the danger at hand by Reese's sudden closeness. It's almost strange to be here with him after the way he was hidden away for the first few days of our week in Scarlet Hollow. It made him into a seemingly mythical figure, the tragic artist wasting away in a basement guarded by a tyrannical warden. Now he's right in front of you, a flesh and blood human being, one you could reach out and touch if you so desired. There's no one I'd rather be stuck in an enclosed space with. If you're scared, you can hold my hand. Lean in, gently touching Reese's arm. Your skin brushes against his. It's cool, as you'd expect from someone who'd just taken a nap in a morgue, but not unpleasant. It's almost a relief in the sticky air of the closet. He reflexively twitches away from you, emitting a small, involuntary gasp. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. His voice is quiet. You can feel him trembling slightly, the air between you practically vibrating. I did that on purpose. Oh. He relaxes slightly, uncoiling from the cramped space he tried to escape to. You could do it again if you want. You lean in again, and so does he, your shoulders touching as you both stare out into the office. I'm having so much fun right now. You feel his heartbeat through his skin. It's going at a rapid pace, his breath shallow. But the sounds of him are drowned out by Dr. Kelly's footsteps, creaking their way across the house towards the open door of the office. His head swivels suddenly. That was the door to the house. We're in the clear, let's go. The two of you spill out of the closet. Reese quickly and quietly starts pulling out drawers, scanning them for keys. You can't help but notice what Dr. Kelly left on the long steel table in the middle of the room. A sprig of small furry fruits. Castor beans. You've seen them elsewhere in town, but for the life of you can't remember where. What? You were just there. Come on, girl. Memory. Oh, I was having fun in there. Reese pauses his search, rarely glancing back at you, but you still see pink blossom on his cheekbones. We could always spend more time together later, once we're done sneaking around, if the doc hasn't kicked you out by then. He turns away, continuing to rifle through drawers, trying to hide the grin that spread across his face at the suggestion. Why did your mom get castor beans? Yes, found the keys. He holds up a small ring of keys, each with a strip of colored tape on the head. What's this about beans? Oh, those weird little fruit things. Reese unlocks the cabinet and offers you the fire axe. Here's your axe. I'm holding it like I'm in a first-person action game. Oh my god. And I don't know, I've never seen them before. I'm not allowed in the supply room. It's probably some kind of medicinal plant, right? She took out a chemistry set too, though. Come to think of it, she's not supposed to make medicine. She's not a pharmacist. This room is just for storage, for orders she gets from a pharmacist over in Brevard. Why would she bring something like that in here? This plant is not medicinal. It makes one of the deadliest poisons known to man. But she's not using it for that, right? Why would she give people poison? Let him draw his own conclusions. Maybe she has some kind of information on it lying around here somewhere. That drawer over there is locked. If I were information on some mysterious alien-looking fruit, I'd probably be in a locked drawer, right? Good thing I already have the keys. He unlocks the drawer, pulling out a notebook. This is about me. There's stuff in here from when I was like 12. It's some kind of diary or medical history or both, I guess. What the hell is this? Something about another episode. Guessing she's referring to one of my rough nights. Oh, here we go. There's some illustrations. He glances through the strange plant on the countertop. It's those beans you mentioned. She uses them to make my medicine. That's poison, right? He jerks his head toward the door. Shit, that was the door from the house. We've got to run. You follow Reese's instruction, once again starting down the basement stairs, letting the pull of the stone carving guide you back to the morgue. Dr. Kelly's voice filters down from above. I was right. We did already have juice. It was just in the back of the fridge. But there's no harm in having extra. What are you doing in the clinic? I thought I told you to go rest. Oh, I'm just gonna chill in the morgue. I got my speakers, so if you hear some weird sounds, it's just my music. I'll be sure to put in earplugs to drown out all that industrial clanging you listen to. You know I'm not the biggest fan of you spending time down there. It can't be good for your mental health to hang out in a refrigerator for corpses. You at least have a blanket this time. Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a change of scenery. My room feels too claustrophobic right now. Okay, I'll let you know when it's time for dinner. You don't have to do that. I'll grab something from my room later. Sure, whatever you're able to do. You hear the door close, and the sound of Reese descending the stairs to join you in the fluorescent-lit room below. Hey. You listen to music that sounds like a wall being broken down? Of course I do. I'm sad all the time. Glad my taste in music is finally coming in handy. It's exactly the cover we need. Stop asking questions. May I make the first blow? Sure, but I want to get in a few after you. I've got some confused and angry feelings I'd like to work out. You approach the far end of the morgue, practically singing through the air as you strike the wall. The first cut offers a surprising amount of resistance. There is some structure behind it, some wood frame holding it in place, trying to stand out between you and what waits for you on the other side. You stagger back from the massive hole in the wall and admire your effort. Holy shit. The splintered edge frames a dark passage, seemingly cut deep into the side of the cliff, cold seeping from a forgotten place into the already frigid morgue. Reese coughs as he takes a better look at what lies beyond the wound in the wall. There's a whole hallway back there. Thick, stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with an earthy mildew smell, like the room is slowly filling with dirt. And with the stink of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward, and you climb into the hole. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing, rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall. His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway towards the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. Whoa, are you okay? You don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it. Enoch, I thought you weren't going to come. I was worried you'd leave me here forever. They said there's nothing they can do. I'll never lose my legs again. Enoch, what am I going to do? Calm down, Teddy. These doctors don't know what they're talking about. Teddy, that's his son that died in the mine collapse. I've been doing my own research and I found us an alternative. We won't have to worry about anything from here on out, I promise. I want to talk to the witch. Oh, witch? But that's nonsense. It's alright, it's all sorted. We're taking you home today and everything will be resolved by this time next week. Everything goes black. Your vision swims back into focus and it takes a solid second or two to reorient yourself. Alright. We got our vision. We saw the thing and we got our vision, and I am going to end this here because some crazy stuff is going to happen in the next episode, and I have been recording for a long time. So, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more Scarlet Hollow.